Hi guys, this is Kieran back again for another video on sleepy habits and habits to do to improve sleep. Now today I want to share to you some things around diet and how that can help sleep. And that's why I'm in my kitchen. Obviously, naturally, this is the place to talk about food. I guess I could have talked in the dining room about food, but I decided to move things around and show you what my kitchen, and I've put some nice sort of foods out there as well, which actually help with sleep. Before I get to that, I guess I just want to share a bit about my journey with food and sleep and looking at these kind of things as well. So what would typically happen to me is that I'd come home after a day of work or out and about doing things, and I would come home, cook a big meal because I'd be so hungry from having not had lunch in about 6 or 7 hours. I'd have some water, I'd have some wine, a bunch of different things, sit back on the couch, relax, feeling great, feeling a bit sleepy. So it's like, right, I'm off to bed now. Away I go. I'll lie down, I'll fall asleep, no problems. And about 2 or 3 hours later, it'd be 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning, and I need to go to the bathroom, and it's, oh, I need to get up. And I'd have this battle internally, thinking to myself, well, this sensation is going to go away, surely, anytime now it'll go away, but it won't. So I'll get up, and away I go, into the bathroom, do what I need to do, come back, and then think to myself, I need to get back to sleep again, and this pressure builds up. And I just thought after a while, enough's enough with this. I need to have a look and see if there's anything around my food and drink intake in the evening which will help me get a better night's sleep. And there are a few things I've done which have really helped and have stopped me from having to go to the bathroom and feeling great and getting really good quality uninterrupted sleep. I want to share with you as well. There are 3 categories I put this down to. 3 things that you can do to supercharge your sleep through what you consume, both food and drink. And the first one is consume less liquids in the evening. So this is what happened to me. I'd come home and I would feel I'd not had enough water, a bit dehydrated. So I would fill up a big thing like this, big jug, and then I'd drink it over the course of an evening. I wouldn't drink this in one go because that's a bit crazy. But over the course of one evening, I'd drink this. And that's great. But as I was saying before, what would happen is after about 2 hours of sleeping, I'd be needing to go to the bathroom, and sometimes I'd be going again and again, and I'd be spending, feels like half the night back from my bedroom to my bathroom, doing what I need to do. And it's just silly. So what I've done is, first of all, I have spread out my water intake during the day. I won't obviously carry around this everywhere I go, but if I'm at work, for example, I'll just make sure that I drink water from their facilities, their work facilities. If I'm out and about, I'll take a water bottle with me as well and just spread it out. I mean, people say you need 1.5 to 2 litres of water. I'm not sure if that's true. There probably is some merit in that. That's for another YouTube channel, and feel free to search that if that's something that interests you through the YouTube search. However, I now spread it out. I aim for 1.5 to 2 litres, and that does well. The other thing as well, it's not directly related to diet and food, but with liquid things, is that I try and go to the bathroom, the toilet, about 3 or 4 times in the last hour or so, completely empty my bladder out. And that way, over the course of 8 or 9 hours, or in your case, how many hours you sleep, your bladder will just gradually fill up, and by the time you wake up, you'll need to go, but there'll be no sensations or very little sensation during the night. So it promotes deep sleep, which is what we all want. Definitely. Second thing is to avoid 2 key things. And these are 2 key things I really like. The first one, I'm just trying to find it. Coffee or caffeine. I'm referring to caffeine here, but I just happen to have some coffee just to show you what I'm talking about. So there's a number of different reasons why you want to avoid coffee. The first one is from a liquid perspective, which I talked about before. You're just wanting to go to the bathroom more often. It's a dehydrant. Is that a word? Possibly. But it doesn't hydrate you, so I end up drinking more of this to counteract this. That's the first thing. The second thing is that it just keeps you wired. It activates neurons that are more waking when at night you want to be activating the neurons that promote sleep. And this counteracts that. Now, I've got friends who say, oh, Kieran, what are you talking about? I have coffee all the time in the evenings, and I'll have it at 1 in the morning, midnight, whatever, and it doesn't do anything to me. And that's lovely. That's great. I can tell you right now, if you're one of those people, it is impacting your sleep. And whilst you might feel you're getting great sleep, you can get even better sleep if you cut it out. For me personally, I've always had issues with coffee post about 3 o'clock in the afternoon, so I just cut it anyway. So that's a bit of a good habit of mine. But in terms of other things that have caffeine, and there's some hidden killers here, and it's something I have most nights, and I try to cut back, chocolate. Love myself a good piece of chocolate. That's great. The problem is though, is that it has mild elements of caffeine in it. And even if it's not as much caffeine as this, it still impacts the system. And I'm speaking from a personal perspective, but every time I have one of these at night, it keeps me awake, even until 3 hours later. And it's amazing, because sometimes I'll just be feeling rested, and I've had my dinner, and I'm like, oh, should I have a piece of chocolate? I'm not sure. And I get talked into it by my wife, so I have it, and I eat it, and it keeps me awake. Like usually sort of midnight, 1 o'clock, the switch goes off, I'm awake. So I've cut back. Doesn't mean I've cut back on chocolate altogether. I just have it earlier in the day because chocolate's too nice for me anyway. So I don't have it. So there are other things as well with caffeine. So even things like soda, fruit juices. Fruit juices have caffeine, but there are other sort of liquids that keep things awake or keep the body awake as well. And the other thing, which I really like, is really hard, is alcohol. And I really like alcohol, but alcohol keeps you awake and it doesn't promote good sleep. Definitely having drinks more than sort of 3 hours, less than 3 hours before you go to bed. So it's important to cut out alcohol. A number of reasons why. First of all, it is diuretic and it goes straight through your system and it makes you want to go to the bathroom, which we talked about earlier on, so not good. The second thing as well is that it, whilst gets you to sleep very quickly, you hear about this all the time, people say it knocks you out sleep-wise, it certainly does for me. Once it comes out of your system, the blood alcohol level reduces, your brain starts to get more awake. So what you'll find is that you are engaging more in your brain when without it, that brain's switched off and away in your sleep and away you go. So that's the other tricky thing as well. And the third thing is it sort of skips the deep sleep stages, which you need for a lot of muscle development and tissue development. And it's sort of also the good thing about deep sleep stages is that it rejuvenates the mind and the memory functioning and things like that. It goes straight to REM, the rapid eye movement phase, which is after all of that, which is where you have the lucid dreams. And people say, oh, I had these really weird dreams after I had this night out on the drinks. And it's like, well, that's probably why, because you go straight to REM. So you wake up not feeling as rested. So as much as I love alcohol, and I haven't stopped having alcohol, that's just for me, that's a bit crazy, it's important to reduce it or at least be mindful of the impact it's doing. And the third thing I want to share with you, so we talked about less liquids in the evenings, we talked about cutting out caffeine and alcohol where you can, is have lighter meals. So I really love to get home and have a big meal, whether it's a big pasta, a tomato sauce and a whole bunch of meat, or if it's like a spicy curry and things like that. The tricky things with those type of meals, the big meals, particularly the spicy ones and ones with tomato, as lovely as they are, they do have a habit of generating heartburn, which obviously has an impact on your sleep, and also acid reflux as well. So my advice would be to just reduce the size of your meals a little bit. And if you're still hungry later on in the evening, because you had a lot of meal, you're not used to it, you can try things like crackers with a tiny bit of cheese, a bit of peanut butter, something like that, just very small. That helps. And also, and apologies in advance, this isn't the best version of this type of food that I've got, but it's all I can find. Banana. Preferably one that's a bit more yellow than this. The beauty about those two foods is that they have a natural amino acid that converts into serotonin, which is what you need to produce melatonin, which is a sleepy state. It's called tryptophan, I probably pronounced that wrong, so apologies in advance. But it's a natural amino acid that you need to, or helps the promotion of sleep state. And also, it's not too heavy as well, which is great. So that's a few things I want to share with you today. I hope you got a lot out of it. Did any of this resonate with you? I hope it did. Please, please, please subscribe to my video channel. If you subscribe, you will get up-to-date videos direct to your inbox. I'll be posting here on a weekly basis, sometimes on a 2 times a week, and you'll get the latest from me and Sleep. And I hope that it helped you. Is there anything that you do? Do you do any of what I've just said? Do you believe what I've said? Does this all sound like rubbish to you? I hope it doesn't, but I'd love to hear from you what you think. And share what you do with me. Sorry, share what you guys do with me, because it will help me. And if it helps me, it helps you. And feel free also to share with friends as well. I want to help as many people as possible get the best quality sleep. It's one of the most underrated things. I could talk about this for hours. I'm conscious that I'm now 11 minutes into your day, but I feel like I covered the key things off I want to cover with you. Less liquids, cut back on alcohol and caffeine, and have lighter meals. There are a lot more. In the future, I'll talk more about foods that you can eat to help you sleep. But for now, eat well, sleep well, and I'll speak to you soon.